Welcome back to another episode of the Boro4Boro podcast, where we take a bite out of the Big Apple real estate scene. I'm Matt Wynter, and if you joined us for episode 1, you heard us talk about our favorite neighborhoods throughout the city. Now, for episode 2, we're going to go deeper and take you to some of our favorite attractions across the city, some you may have heard of, and hopefully a lot that you haven't.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
So team, welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Back.
We're back.
Yes.
So actually, to start off Women's History Month, March, I actually brought in this beer that you all are tasting, and this is actually Harlem Brewery Company, and it's actually the first African-American woman by Celeste Beatty to have her own brewery in the United States.
Wow,
So,
that's interesting.
This one's called Honey IPA, Hazy IPA.
Hazy IPA. Okay.
And it has a really nice crisp to it, nice flavors. Tell me what you guys think.
No, it's really good. I actually taste the notes of like citrus.
Medium body.
Yeah.
I taste a lot of tropical in it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's got some layers in there. I'm not even a huge beer drinker, but I like this. This is good.
What? Speaking of breweries, have you ever been to Harlem Hops?
Yes, I've been there a few times.
So the owners are they're black. There's 3 owners. I think it's Kevin, Kim, and I forget the other one's name. But they also have crafted beers, and locally crafted beers, and they focus on that, and they switch the beers out like every month, I believe. So you'll never get the same beer twice.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's
Whereabouts
pretty
in Harlem are they?
Say that again?
Whereabouts in
Oh,
Harlem?
they're on Adam Clayton,
I think it's
130.
like 133rd.
Yeah, 133rd Street. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
But then you also have, if you go to the Bronx, since I'm representing the Bronx, you have the Bronx Brewery as well as Gun Hill Brewery, which are both local, and they're dope. Cool vibes in there.
I like that. Who would have even thought that Harlem, the Bronx, we got breweries popping up?
Yeah.
But I mean, you do know we got the best breweries in LIC though, right? I mean, we got Five Hammer, which is a popping spot that people go to all the time.
Okay.
And right in that little corridor over by in Hunters Point, right by Gantry State Park, there's a bunch of breweries that I know people come to. So I know you guys are trying to put y'all on the map, but LIC is already here. Just so y'all know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really need to speak on Brooklyn. Everyone comes
Well,
Brooklyn
Brooklyn
anyway.
just has the space for breweries.
All right,
Boroughs
basically.
so big.
It's true.
Yeah, true.
It's true. But there's a bunch of different things to do uptown, though. I mean, breweries is one, so I'm definitely going to make sure to check out Harlem Hops.
Harlem
and
Hops, for
check
sure.
this one out. And even Gun Hill as well.
Gun Hill Brewery.
But what else do we got uptown? So what kind of attractions when someone's like, Tracy?
So if you're
what are
not
things to
looking
do?
for a brewery, you can go to actual park. People think that Central Park is like the actual biggest park and the best park. But if you go all the way to the tip of Manhattan, you will get Fort Tryon Park. And the A train will take you straight there.
Okay.
Beautiful scenic area. You have gardens. You actually have the Met, which is the Met Museum out there. It's like an extension.
Okay.
Wait, I thought the Met was by Central Park.
It is, but this is an extension. So
Oh.
it's called the Met at Fort Tryon Park.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
there they
That's
have
cool.
a lot of the medieval art there
Yeah.
that you could check out. They have a courtyard cafe, guided tour. You could see the whole Hudson there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
dope.
it's very beautiful, and it's worth taking the trip up there.
That's actually ironic because if someone was to ask me for an attraction in Brooklyn, I mean, I think we could spend like the whole day speaking about attractions in Brooklyn. But I think,
You would say that.
I think if I was to choose one, it would probably be the Brooklyn Museum.
Yeah.
And the Brooklyn Museum is on Eastern Parkway, down the road from the Brooklyn Library, which is
Okay.
across the street from Prospect Park and Grand Army Plaza. And to get there, you can catch the free train and get off at Eastern Parkway. The museum, actually, they're going to be celebrating their 200th year
Wow.
200?
Wow.
in
That's dope.
2025.
Oh, wow.
But they're kicking off celebrations this year
Okay.
in October 4th with an exhibition of, I think it's called the Exhibition of Brooklyn Artists.
Yeah.
Or the
Okay.
Brooklyn Exhibition, something like that. Anyway,
Sure.
so they're kicking that off on October 4th, and they're going to be shining a light on historically marginalized voices, people of color, and indigenous people.
Wow.
The museum, I love the museum. I got kids.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like, there's always things to do.
Isn't it like first Saturday? Sorry to cut you off too. Isn't it like first Saturday or something like that? Are they still doing that?
Do you know what? It's ironic you bring that up because as part of the celebrations, there's actually talk
Okay.
of extending the first Saturdays and making it like 3 days. But yeah, you are right. Every first Saturday of the month, they do like a day party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's themed. Like I know they just done like a Halloween one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was themed. But every first Saturday of the month, there's like a day party from like 5 till 11.
Yeah.
That's
over
pretty
there.
cool.
I went to the Black History Month one
Yeah.
last month.
How was it?
Actually, the line was down Eastern
Black-
Parkway. So we got there really
Yes.
early, but I
Wow.
mean, it's like the thing to do every Saturday, first of the month.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've been there. That joint is a good time.
Yeah.
You-
DJs,
I get it.
art,
I see what the hype
everything.
is.
he get a check for Brooklyn. All right.
So you guys all come to Brooklyn then?
We came to Brooklyn for that.
Unlike some people we know, we step into other boroughs.
Nothing to do over there.
All right. So that's a good one. I mean, speaking of parks, in Queens, we actually have one of the biggest parks in all of New York City, top 5. Actually slightly bigger than Central Park. Little known fact, a lot of people think that Central Park is the biggest
Right.
in
Yeah.
New York City, but it actually is not. So Flushing Meadows, which is over by where Queens Museum is, the U.S. Open, all up in that central area of Queens, that is actually the 4th largest park in all of New York City. It's just under 900 acres.
Oh yeah.
Which is huge.
900
Oh, wow.
acres.
900 acres,
Really?
yeah. And there's a lot of, same way you say with First Saturday, there's a lot of action happening. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
At Flushing Meadows, there's so much always happening. It's a very bustling area. Corona, I'm sure you guys have heard of Corona.
Yeah.
I know Isaiah probably didn't, but Corona, the crown of Queens.
I thought that was a drink. No, I'm joking.
Well played.
I'm joking.
But yeah, that so the park is surrounding Flushing Meadows, and yeah, so over there's it's an enclave of a lot of Latin cuisine. There's a lot going on there, but it's a huge park that if you're ever looking to come out of Brooklyn, you should definitely check it out because there's always something going on there.
Not gonna happen, but excuse my ignorance. But Flushing Meadows, is that where the US Open happens?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Ah.
So in the fall, that's a big attraction. Thank you for
Giving
checking
you a
that box for
one-up.
us. He knows.
I don't.
So in the fall, the U.S. Open, which has been there for over 60 years now,
Yeah.
that's the spot, especially right around September, right around I believe it's right after Labor Day is when the U.S. Open is, and that's a big spot that people fly into New York for just to be able to see it. Obviously, Serena Williams, all these big names have been there.
Right.
You name it, they've played there. But a lot of people come to New York to be able to go to the U.S. Open, and naturally, already being Queens, there's a lot of things already happening that
Isn't the Olympics coming there?
the Olympic. Oh, I can't wait till we talk about that because
Or
Queens.
is that the World Cup?
Well, no, the World Cup is coming.
Okay.
The World Cup,
World Cup is
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
I got that marked down. It's
Yeah.
coming.
But
I
yeah,
knew something big is coming. Like I
No.
keep seeing all over social media. Like
it's gonna be
Queens
huge.
is gonna be like literally the place. So
I mean, it already is, but that's gonna be even more of a reason why
Say that again.
Queens is already the place to be.
Oh, okay.
And people will be, if you want to get there early before the World Cup comes, that's going to be the place to go. And the attractions that are there, you already know, whether it's bars, whether it's breweries, as I mentioned, whether it's parks, there's so much to already do in that area. And naturally, New York City overall is going to be, on fire. It's going to be crazy, but Queens is going to be the epicenter of it.
Sure. Well, speaking of parks, the Bronx has some of the largest parks in New York City, actually.
That was surprising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody
So-
ever goes to the Bronx, so I'm sure no one knew.
Well, one of the largest parks actually is Pelham Bay Park, and
Okay.
that's over off the 6th line. So it's one of the
Yeah.
biggest parks. It's always like cookouts. People bring their dogs. So I mean, if you're looking for the most greenery in New York City, you probably want to go out there.
Oh, wow.
So what activities do they have in the park?
In the park,
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably tons of things to do. I mean, mostly it's just barbecues. Like I mean,
A lot of park activities.
park activities.
What do
There's
you do in the
pool.
park?
I mean, there's pools. There's pools. There's
Oh, they have pools there.
Yeah, of course they do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, with such a big land mass, if it's the biggest park in the city, I'm sure they probably have multiple pools.
I mean, it's a lot. I think there's also a YMCA that's actually associated with one of them as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of parks, too, to head off of that, the north part of Central Park,
Yeah.
they actually are going under renovation because
Oh,
they're
wow.
putting millions into that. They're going to redo the pool, skating, everything. So that's something to come soon.
The north part of Central Park, is that
So that's like
touching
at
Harlem?
110th
110th
Street.
110. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
It's
That's
under
cool.
construction. So
All right. So parks, safe to say, Queens won that one, and all that. That's what we think, right? But how about this? Let's take a break. We'll come back, and when we come back, we're going to talk about things to do outside of just the parks, because clearly during the day there's a lot of action. But I'm sure there's a bunch of other things that we could talk about that people will want to know about when they come to the city.
Not in Queens, though.
All right, cool.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business. And it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.
Cool. So when you talk about sporting events and attractions, you can't mention attractions without Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
We have Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. So, and just a notable fact, I mean, it's obviously it's been renovated now in 2009 actually, but originally it was built in 1935.
Wow.
1935
Is it the same
to
location, or did they move it?
Same location, Jerome Avenue. They just made it more modern.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally like a new place. I've been there twice, which is shameful of me. Because I'm from the Bronx.
From the Bronx.
And you're
Yeah,
wearing the hat.
and I'm wearing a hat. But I got to
That's like most New Yorkers, right?
Yeah.
We only go to certain things. Like I've never been to the Statue of Liberty, so
Right.
that's like another excuse.
I got to get there more though. But I mean, outside of sporting events, of course, Yankee Stadium. We, if you go just right up the block to Grand Concourse, we have Zona de Cuba. If you're looking for like a rooftop eatery type of place,
Is that the Latin place?
Latin place,
Okay.
good vibes, good music. It actually has one of the nicest views, and it's one of the largest outdoor rooftop restaurants in the Bronx.
Zona de Cuba is a vibe. I've been there before. So you said that's right by Yankee Stadium, right?
Right off of Yankee Stadium. It's just right on the Grand Concourse at 149th Street, right on the corner. So it's above actual historic landmark, the post office, 149th Street post office.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is the post office still active?
The post office is not active. They actually sold it. So they were actually there were plans to actually build mixed use commercial and residential above it. Yeah. So Zona was the first actual property commercial space that they rented to. Yeah.
All right, question. What's your favorite meal from Zona de Cuba?
Man.
Drink.
Okay, so their drinks, they have good mojitos.
Yeah.
As far as eats, I want to say they had some plantain dish. I don't know what was in it, but it was.
What, the mofongo?
No, it's not mofongo. It's like a plantain boat with some sort of like
the codfish or something.
Yeah, with codfish in it. And it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
I know they get real creative with
this.
They
do.
Yeah, I think they have like a clothespin.
A clothespin with empanadas on it. Yeah, that's the famous one. Yeah.
You went there before too? Oh, okay.
Never been in Queens, but
He came to the Bronx.
Wait, you actually stepped foot in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This one time.
But no.
So naturally, there's other things to do in the Bronx other than just go to a Yankee game, or you can go to a Yankee game and then swing by Zona de Cuba.
Zona, yeah.
Okay.
Good views, yeah.
All right, but I mean, if we're gonna talk baseball, though, there is another baseball team in New York, right?
God.
Now, I am a self-proclaimed Yankee fan, but Citi Field, we gotta admit, Citi Field is, in terms of the food and stuff that you can get there, like the experience is much better at Citi Field. There's a lot of concerts that go there. Never been to Citi Field?
I don't think anybody has.
No, I won't let y'all do the bets like that. But I will say, Citi Field, which is also in Flushing, so right in that same area where, like I said, you have the U.S. Open and you have Flushing Meadows Park, Citi Field is right around that same area. So it's a real hotbed for a lot of culture and a lot of happenings. Right. But right there, you have Citi Field, which it's a concert venue. I've been to so many different concerts there. And the food there, when they did their renovation, the year that they did it is slipping me. But I think that when they went from Shea Stadium, which was the original Met Stadium, us old New Yorkers, we remember Shea Stadium.
I mean, you had the passes to go to the airport, right?
Yeah. A passerby. Man. But no, when you were going to the new Citi Field, man, the food there, I think that's the one thing that I always remember when I go there, because, you're at a ball game, and sometimes baseball games could be very long. And so you want to be able to make sure that while you're there, you can have a good brew and you can make sure you have some good food. So I don't know. Yankee Stadium is up there, but I would say that maybe Citi Field might actually beat them when it comes to food.
I don't know. Well, food, since we're talking about food, we also have other destinations in the Bronx as well. You have City Island, which is
Okay.
one of
Oh my
the
God,
biggest
I
seafood
actually
spots
love
in the
City
Bronx. You know,
Island.
so
I'm
you
a
can.
seafood
Yeah,
fan.
so you got seafood. You got City Island. You also have Little Italy. So if you love Italian food, you have that part off of Fordham Road.
Is that like the real Little Italy? Because I feel like we.
It actually is.
Yeah?
It actually is. It's the real Little Italy, and then you have Little Italy downtown, Broome Street, around that area. Yeah.
So Little Italy.
Like so some of the original gangsters and stuff like that, they actually went to this Little Italy first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arthur Ave.
Arthur Ave. Yep.
Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So you get some authentic cuisine.
What you got in Brooklyn?
He's drawing a blank. There's nothing in Brooklyn.
You didn't just say that, did you? Now, do you know what? When it comes to like nightlife, going out, restaurants, lounges, again, there's just too many in Brooklyn. Right?
That's true.
Whether
I mean-
you go Dumbo House, whether like Williamsburg, you got the what is it? The Water Tower in Williamsburg, which is a rooftop spot. Where I usually go, because I work, my office is in, or one of our offices is in Borough. So I'll go to Komodo, which is downtown Brooklyn, is on Duffel Street between Willoughby and Fulton Street.
Yeah.
It's a rooftop loungy area. During the week, it opens up at 6 o'clock, so it makes a good space for after work drinks. Actually, my favorite drink there is the Dragon Blood, which is made of Grey Goose, ginger beer, agave,
Sounds good.
dragon fruit, and lime or something like that. But no, it's a dope spot. Casual. Weekends is a vibe. Very like casual spot.
Yeah.
There might be a cover charge, but depending on what day you go.
Or you say Isaiah at the door and they'll be like, okay.
Yeah, they'll say get out. No, but it's dope. I celebrated my missus' birthday over there a couple years ago.
Nice.
So yeah, and they're very like helpful and courteous. So no, that's a dope spot. That
What
would
was
be
the
my-
area you said that was in?
Downtown Brooklyn.
So it's downtown.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kimoto, downtown Brooklyn is on top of the Sheraton Hotel.
Oh, wow.
So like rooftop, yeah. And where it's
Okay.
downtown Brooklyn, you get a nice view of Brooklyn and Manhattan. So yeah.
Downtown Brooklyn has exploded like
Yeah.
in the last few years. And
Yeah.
ooh, the high rises that are going up over there.
Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of high rises, a lot of condos and rental apartment buildings are going up downtown Brooklyn. But you know, everyone wants to be in Brooklyn, so they got to figure something out for them, right?
True. What you got
Well,
over there?
look, I would disagree because you can go to Brooklyn and Brooklyn is cool. They got some good stuff there. But look, believe it or not, like I said on the first episode, Long Island City is all about the views. And when it comes to views, a lot of people come to New York because they want to be able to see skyline views and they want to be able to have rooftop vibes. In Long Island City, we have a new rooftop called Lighthouse. It's right on Queens Boulevard. And that spot, what's really cool about it is that it's a Latin fusion restaurant, but what makes it fusion is that it's actually a Japanese inspired. So it's fusing Latin, technically Mexican, with Japanese. And man, that place is really, really cool. You know, right now we're in the Instagram era, so everybody wants to go there and be able to really get those views of the city and the skyline, which again are the best views in the city. You go to Lighthouse and you can be right up on top, get a nice photo for the gram, and be able to have
For the gram.
for the gram. I mean, that's what people want,
Wait,
as well as a really good meal.
Is it more a restaurant or a lounge?
I would say it's a restaurant and lounge. I would say depending on the time that you go, you know, very similar to Komodo and very similar to Zona. I think that is kind of establishing itself as for Long Island City. It's not in, you know, the Court Square, real downtown. It's actually on the way technically to Sunnyside.
Oh, yeah?
So Queens Boulevard is going to run you into Sunnyside and actually take you all the way to the other side of Queens. But right by the 7 train, where Lighthouse is, it's really at that perfect spot where you can see all the action happening, but you don't have to be in the middle of it. And so a lot of people are coming into Long Island City to go there, not only because the food is good, and not only because you get great views, but it's still within close enough proximity that people want to be able to figure out where can we go after this to still keep the party going.
It sounds like Matt wants to take us out to the Lighthouse.
It sounds like the Brooklyn guy wants to come to Long Island City. His eyes perked up. That's what it was.
Anything for a drink, man. We can go out there. I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down.
Okay.
What about Manhattan? Manhattan must have a lot of rooftops and places to eat.
So if you
Drink.
want to lounge,
Yeah.
I kind of want to focus on the Oculus.
Oh.
You can lounge in the Starbucks.
For a $20 Vinci.
Oh man.
But the Oculus is like kind of like a landmark. It
Okay.
had to become a landmark, and it was built after 9/11. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful. You can't miss it. It's
Right.
huge
Yeah.
white metal.
Where is the
structure.
Oculus though?
It's
I was about
down
to
in
ask that.
Friday.
It's down in Friday. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a big metal structure. Santiago Calatrava.
Okay.
Trava. He actually designed it, and supposedly it's supposed to be like a dove, hand holding a dove or releasing a dove. So it has that like arch to it.
I never knew that. That's what that was supposed to be.
Yeah, and then
Very
some have
abstract.
said it's like, if from the inside, it's like an eyeball looking
yeah?
out because the peak of light goes straight down the middle.
Hence the name Oculus. Okay.
Right.
That makes more
Oculus,
sense.
Okay.
yeah.
The bear's doing its job.
So it's a huge attraction. They said at least 1 million people visit there a week. So
a week.
it's like, and they have tons of shopping, high end luxury brands,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do a lot there. But it has 12 subway lines there. You can also catch the New Jersey Path.
Okay.
There, so it's like an attraction that Manhattan is known for as like a landmark.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing about New York. Like you said, people come from all over the world to want to see the Oculus. People want to experience New York. And the cool thing about New York is obviously there's a big name attractions, but then when they're here, a lot of what people fall in love with and ultimately want to live here because of are all of the like tier down that we're talking about, where it's like you have to know about it. You got to be able. You wouldn't know about a Komodo. You wouldn't know about a Zona de Cuba unless you were coming for the big attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think one of my favorite things as a realtor is when someone's like, "Well, what's the things to do in this neighborhood?" I was like, "Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you."
It's your moment.
Yeah, I think that's what really makes New York so cool because there's so much more to do than even the big name things that people think to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? We riff on this show, but genuinely though, like there's whether it's Queens, the Bronx, I think we've all demonstrated that there's, regardless of what you're looking for, whether it's outdoor space, whether it's a night out, whether
Right.
it's a meal, maybe other than Staten Island, like there's places to go. Like
Right.
you're spoiled for options
Yeah.
in the city.
No, I
sure.
agree.
For
I
sure.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Queens won the first episode, so I do think now
that?
Queen, it's statistically said that Queens won the first episode. That's what they said in the comments. I don't.
They said that in
How
the
about you
comments.
guys comment and let us know who's
Matt was
the best
commenting.
borough so
He
far?
was commenting himself. he commented and said,
Don't check my phone.
he made a
No, we
comment.
would love to hear from you guys though. Like, who's
Absolutely.
the best borough, and what other topics would you like for us to talk about?
Yeah, that's
You know?
that's important. Yeah.
No, I agree. And we could, I mean, like Isaiah said, we could do this all day, and it's all in good fun. But look, this was another great episode, and I'm really excited to see where we take it for the rest of the series. But make sure, if you haven't already, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, because that's the only way you're really going to be in the know of when every episode drops. And there's so much great content on the More Network that you'll be able to catch up on and be able to see why Queens reigns supreme over all of the other boroughs. But with that said, this is another episode of Boro4Boro.
Cut his mic off, please.
Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right.